The federal response should be similar to what we saw last time, but I think the best part about President Trump's leadership is he did allow states to go their own way and to choose their own path, and we learned from that experiment when states did that. We learned that states like South Dakota, which actually did very little shutting down, but maintained social distancing nonetheless, they were perfectly fine, and their economy was not crippled like so many other states. Now, obviously, in New York City, on the subways, yeah, you've got an environment there where that's highly likely to transmit the disease, or to the virus. But we don't have to have a one-size-fits-all solution. But I will say this, too. The federal government's response should not be to shovel more money at the problem. We've already spent $2.1 million. Nancy Pelosi wanted another, $1 trillion. She wanted another $3 trillion on top of that. And we have to have someone in Washington who is serious about going back to the previous normal, not the new normal, and then cutting federal spending from there. $23 trillion debt was obscene. Getting beyond that to the levels we're seeing now is ridiculous. And I have shown that I cut my agency by 34% in 8 years. No other agency in Kansas government did that. You have to send a serious cost cutter to Washington. And I think there's someone else on the stage who has a record in that regard, and that's Roger Marshall. He had a chance to vote in 2018 on H.R. 5895. And that was a bill to cut federal spending by a little 1%. He voted against that bill along with 185 Democrats. On the same day, he voted against a bill to cut the National Endowment for the Arts, a minuscule amount, also with the Democrats. I don't think he's serious about cutting spending. I want to know why he voted that way on that bill.
Okay, we'll offer a direct rebuttal if you have one.
Yeah, more fake news from a failed, desperate candidate. I have voted 98% with President Trump, 98% of the time, and the handful of times I voted against him was I didn't want to spend as much money as he had. I have the most conservative records in all of Congress. I'm proud of my record. I'm proud that I've stood beside President Trump. We built this great economy. The coronavirus came, it took us down, but we're going to build this economy again, and that'll improve our tax base. But this country does need to go on a diet, a spending diet as well. We cannot continue to spend all this money that we are in social programs. And one of the great opportunities to decrease spending is in health care. Healthcare spending makes up 28% of our federal budget. And I'd love to talk more about those opportunities that we have, whether it's more Medicare Advantage, giving patients more choices, more things like healthcare savings accounts and healthcare reimbursement accounts as well. So I'm proud of my record.